Here we go. Hello, this is Jake Von der Linde along with
Mary Bussman and
Chris Hester.
and we're here presenting the Curriculum and Program Review Annual Report for 2023-2024. And this report provides an overview of the changes that have occurred over this school year in our curriculum areas and some of our district programs. So this first slide provides us with an overview of the 5 areas in our district's goals and our key strategies of our strategic plan. We have bulleted in the teal the connections between this report and our strategic plan areas. So feel free to pause the video now to review all of the areas. This slide provides a review of where we've been with curriculum review over the last few years. As you know, during the COVID-19 pandemic and the years following, curriculum review was delayed and a bit bumpy. This was mostly due to the sub-shortage in educators' capacity. However, this year, the curriculum review process felt more closely aligned to the experiences prior to the pandemic. This document provides an overview of where each of our curriculum areas are currently. On the right-hand side of the circle diagram is our implementation and continuous improvement cycle. As you can see, the majority of our curriculum and program areas are located in this area as they're implementing and working with their program. On the left side of the circle is the program review cycle. The 3 phases in this cycle include all of the groups that are currently assigned to a member of the Office of Educational Equity to facilitate their curriculum review process. We work to align our curriculum review process with the Minnesota Department of Education's cycle for new standards implementation. In that way, we're able to actively review the standards when they're ready and plan for our program, instructional, and resource changes. I'll now hand it over to Dr. Mary Bussman, who oversees our elementary areas, as well as some of our district-wide subjects.
thank you, Jake. The K-6 English Language Arts and Spanish Language Arts curriculum is in the spotlight this year, as this installation comes at the same time the statewide Minnesota READ Act was signed into law in July of 2023. You can see the curriculum that we selected for our installation on the slide here, and the components of the learning to read, what it takes to learn how to read, is showcased in Scarborough's reading rope, the photo that I have here for you. The curriculum that we've selected are Wit and Wisdom for language comprehension strategies, Hegarty and Foundations for the word recognition strategies, Hyde Decodables and Geodes. Those are early reading books, so they focus mostly on word recognition, but develop language comprehension as well. And then Caminos is our Spanish language arts in our dual language Spanish immersion program. And they provide both language comprehension and word recognition skills and development. So teachers are working very hard to learn a brand new way of teaching reading with K-3 students focused on word recognition or decoding skills this year. And then they also are following up in K-3 with developing language comprehension as well. Teachers in grades 4 through 6 have focused on the language comprehension skills you can see in the slide. Along with the curriculum, a main component of the Minnesota READ Act has been professional development. That has been taking place this year and in Roseville over the last year and a half as well. Our ELA curriculum review team has been convened to monitor the progress of our implementation. They'll be revising the report cards, and they'll also determine any additional needs for our English language arts curriculum. The curriculum aligns with the elements of the Minnesota READ Act, as it is a structured literacy program. Wit and Wisdom is on the approved list from MDE and CARE, the Center for Applied Research and Educational Improvement, meaning we'll be able to apply for reimbursement for Wit and Wisdom. The other curricula have not been approved on that list, but Roseville Area Schools will be able to demonstrate that our selections provide the evidence-based structured literacy requirements of the READ Act as we complete our local literacy plan in June. Another requirement of the READ Act is PD, as I was talking about. Almost all of our pre-K through 4 classroom teachers, multilingual learner teachers, and special education teachers will complete LETRS training this year, one of the requirements and one of the PD options of the READ Act. And then the third major component of the READ Act is assessments and interventions. Our current K-6 assessment, intervention, and progress monitoring aligns with the requirements of the READ Act. So we are very much looking forward to seeing the impact of this curriculum adoption in the years ahead. The next curriculum area I'd like to talk about is social studies. This team is beginning their work, so we're in the first year of the cycle in our program evaluation. The team has examined data, including grades, survey data from families, teachers, and students in grades 2, 4, and 6. And the team has also reviewed the old standards and identified gaps between those and the 2021 standards as they prepare to implement these new standards, which will be in the 26-27 school year. The new 2021 standards utilize the College, Career, and Civic Life Framework. It's referred to often as the C3 framework. This inquiry design framework represents a shift away from learning historical facts and episodes in time to having students engaged in interdisciplinary study as they learn how history, geography, civics, economics, and ethnic studies interconnect and influence one another at these moments and periods of time. The team met with social studies specialist Brittany Rosenhag from the Minnesota Department of Education to learn about this new approach and how to bundle the standards into topical learning. An important note that we found in the C3 framework is the connections the team is making to how we're also teaching the new science standards as well as the new literacy standards. Wit and Wisdom provides a similar inquiry design in teaching reading comprehension. Again, we're excited to see and learn more about this in our next few years of engaging in the social studies curriculum. K-6 math is in full implementation. We have 3 curriculum selected across our 8 schools. We continue to offer cognitively guided instruction, or CGI, Summer Institute. We do that annually with 4 follow-up evening sessions of extended learning for our teachers. This CGI course is offered for board credit annually. Currently, there are 81 Roseville teachers in grades K through 8 who have attended the CGI training. This student-centered approach to teaching math starts with what students know and builds on their natural number sense and intuitive approaches to problem solving. Rather than a math program or curriculum, CGI is a way of listening to students, asking informed questions, and engaging with their thinking, all with the goal of uncovering and expanding every student's mathematical understanding. We'll be using that base knowledge next year in the fall when K-6 math curriculum review will begin its program evaluation along with grades 7 through 12. So we're looking forward to learning more there. And now I'll move to science. Our K-6 science program is in early implementation. So with the 2019 standards, K-6 science moved back into early implementation. K-5 had few shifts in their standards for the teachers, but 6th grade teachers are continuing to learn how to implement the new earth science content and instructional strategies that were first introduced in 22-23. The core models of scientific thinking are interdependence, cycles, habits of scientists, and energy produces change and measures change. So our students are learning about those during their K-6 career. And they're doing that through the curriculum tools of the FOSS and Delta kits. Our engineering is elementary kits, the computer science, and then technology, exploration, and makerspace. In music, the K-12 music program includes classroom music teachers as well as band, orchestra, and choir teachers at the secondary level. Secondary teachers continue to align their coursework to the new standards through their work in grading for equity. There are 3 teachers new to our elementary schools in the classroom music program, and so the focus for that team has been alignment of lessons to the standards, as well as updating the recordings that we have to our current technology. In visual art, you'll notice a common representation of the standards between visual art and music, and that is intentional, as the artistic processes are similar across the arts. These are to create, to present, to respond, and to connect. And foundational knowledge is embedded within each of those 4 core processes. So you can see that represented in this graphic. The K-12 visual arts team is in its installation phase, just like English, K-6 English language arts. And this year they will add a ceramics course at Rams, and a new course is being offered at Roz entitled Arts and Advocacy. The elementary sites will have additional display boards, and secondary will increase digital showcases, all in an effort to increase student voice through visual arts. Teachers have engaged in professional development, and they will be attending the national art, teachers will engage in professional development through an online curriculum and website called the Art of Education University. And then they will attend the National Art Educators Association National Convention in Minneapolis, coming up later in April. And finally, the elementary teachers created common formative assessments to be used to align their grading as seen on the report cards, grading students on how their work meets the standards and not on student behavior. That was a big shift that we made for the visual arts program this year. And now I hand it off to Chris Hester.
Thank you, Mary. I have pre-K through 12 social emotional learning. This is our first year in phase 1 for our SEL program. And the goal of this year is to align pre-K through 12, a developmentally appropriate social emotional learning curriculum. The team comprises of a teacher, social workers, administrators, as well as elective teachers working together, representing all of our buildings in Roseville area schools. Like I said, this is our first year in this program, and we are currently doing research and looking at different curriculum. 712 Family and Consumer Science is in their design phase of the curriculum review, while starting the implementation purchasing phase next year for 24-25. The focus thus far has been on grades 7 and 8 to ensure program viability for students to continue taking our FACS courses, along with making sure we increase our enrollment with our 9-12 program. We are currently in the phase of having Living on Your Own is as a required course for financial literacy that the MDE has made a requirement for grades 10 through 12 starting next year. So Living on Your Own, along with 2 other business courses, will meet those standards. Social studies, Mary talked about the K-6 social studies. 712, it's K-12 social studies are working off of the same C3 college career and civics life framework for their design, where our standards are being grouped by skill and content. In grades 7 through 12, we are aligning our curriculum to make sure that overlap is appropriate in all grades and making sure that vertical articulation is handled as well as a horizontal, meaning Rams and Parkview are aligning themselves with the same curriculum along with FOS and ROS as students transition between the 2 buildings. We are currently, as I said, in our second year, and this requires a full in-depth look at all the courses being offered at all 4 buildings. 712 English, PE, Health, Science, and Math, they are in that sustainable or implementation phase, and they are all moving forward. Once again, English was put on hold, but now they will be looking at and examining their new standards for 2020, from 2020. PE and Health, K-12 and K-12 Health, they all will be and have been working with students and families in their new curricular areas. Science 712 did see a shift in did see a shift in requirements. As Mary stated, sixth grade is now doing earth science, whereas the eighth grade team is now doing physical science, and they have already picked their curriculum, which will be Open Sci-Ed for grades 7 and 8. Our ninth grade team will be doing Earth and Space, which is now a new required course for ninth graders in high school. Now I'll pass it on to Jake.
Thank you, Chris. The Career and Technical Education, or CTE programs, offer multiple ways for students to experience future career skills and pathways. Last year, the CTE courses at Roseville Area High School were recertified by the Minnesota Department of Education based on their alignment to the CTE state standards. We haven't started their curriculum review yet, but hope to by the beginning of next school year. Some changes this year include the transition of the yearbook publications class from the English Language Arts Department to the Communication Arts in CTE. Also, Raider Graphics has successfully transitioned to new leadership under a former Ross graduate, Seamus Barrett, who will continue to oversee the business. Also, our business department for 9-12 will be offering the new course, Cybersecurity, next year. They're also set to meet the changes required by the state legislature, requiring all students beginning 9th grade in school year 2024-25 and later to take a personal finance course in 10th, 11th, or 12th grade, as Chris had mentioned earlier. The business department already offers 2 courses, Investments and Managing Your Money, that meet the personal finance requirement. The Media Tech team continues to support the technology and literacy needs of our students and staff. The Elementary Media Specialist team supported our K-6 English Language Arts implementation by reviewing our books for the rollout this year. The K-12 team also engaged in professional development on artificial intelligence and the impact and future in education. We hope to bring the Media Tech team into program evaluation during the 2024-2025 school year. Our K-12 dual language Spanish immersion program continues to change and grow. School year 2024-25 will provide more opportunities for students in the DLSI program at Roseville Area High School. In addition to the Spanish language and culture courses, students will be able to take their social studies required courses in Spanish, and seniors will take a DLSI capstone course. The 7-12 World Language team will complete the implementation plan and purchase phase of curriculum review this spring with a recommended resource purchase. They will continue to offer Spanish and French as world languages as we continue to implement the dual language Spanish immersion program from K through 12. And we continue to grow our online courses offered and running at Roseville Area High School. This year, students were offered 22 courses from 10 departments. 4 sections ran, including health, economics, government, and living on your own. We're pleased that a few of the courses that meet the personal finance requirement next year, living on your own and managing your money, are going to be offered as online options for students in the future. Roseville Area Schools received an MTSS grant from the Minnesota Department of Education. The grant will provide funds to support an elementary and secondary MTSS coordinator for the next 2 school years. We completed the MTSS training through MDE this school year and continue to work towards developing a district-wide handbook for MTSS. We also continue to receive funding for our alternative delivery of specialized services, ADSIS program, which provides reading, math, and behavior support at the elementary level, which will continue to be funded through the end of the 2024-25 school year. Thanks for watching our annual report of curriculum and programs, and we look forward to further discussion and questions at the upcoming meeting.